Thanks for coming over and helping me fold all this laundry that Tom left here.
Oh, yeah, you got it. Here at Tom's house.
All right, that's enough of that.
Yeah. Hey, check it out.
Welcome to The Fold, our movie review show where we barely fold laundry, Tom's laundry, but instead we talk about movies. You see that?
God.
I'm Mike.
I'm Jake.
And today we're talking about Lucky.
Realism is the practice of accepting a situation as it is,
What you're saying is what you see is what you get.
but what you see is not what I get. I got this anxiety attack. I fell.
Lucky fell down.
Let's not make a production out of it.
This is also Harry Dean Stanton's sort of swan song, right?
It's one of his last movies, and it looks it. I mean, it was made, I think, last year, or came out last year.
I think he was 89 when he was in the movie, and he turned like 90 right after.
Okay.
He died shortly after he made the movie.
Right.
And the movie is actually about a character coming to terms with the fact that he's getting older and that he may not have so much time left, even though there's nothing really wrong with him.
I think that he maybe comes to a discovery throughout the film that he hasn't necessarily gotten all of his affairs in order. He's sort of let certain ideological, philosophical, and emotional ideas, he's kind of put them off for later, and he's now at later. After like a fainting spell that he suddenly has where he falls down, he sort of realizes maybe he should start thinking about what he believes as he goes into this next stage of life, which is dying.
I was scared to death. I started thinking there's nothing out there. It's all black. The void.
There's other people in the town that he lives in, which is sort of like a desert town, a really small desert town where everybody knows each other.
Right.
One of his friends, played by David Lynch,
Yeah.
is going through a sort of similar experience.
There are some things in this universe, ladies and gentlemen, that are bigger than all of us. And a tortoise is one of them.
And a lot of other characters talk about experiences that they've had, you know, getting close to death and things like that.
It's a movie about old people, really old people. And I think Tom Skerritt says at one point that, there aren't a lot of us left. And I think he's just referring to a certain generation of people who were like right about to reach the end of their lives, which is one of the things that was really interesting to me because it's just something I don't know too much about on a deep level. I thought this movie really did a beautiful job of like articulating what it's like to be facing that.
Yeah,
you know?
It does take a certain point of view though, because it doesn't seem like a lot of the characters are particularly religious or anything, so it takes a very hardcore realist look at death.
Realism is a thing, they keep saying in the movie.
Yeah.
I know the truth, and the truth matters. And you have to face that and accept it.
Which is, I guess, what he's doing with the fact that he's getting old.
Yeah.
But there's no like glossy, like he doesn't have any fantasy of an afterlife or anything. He's just thinks like once you die, that's it.
He's portrayed as an atheist who has kind of over the course of his life made peace with the fact that he's going to die and go in the dirt, and that's going to be that. And then he's kind of okay with that. He makes a determination at one point in the film that there is no soul, which is rare to hear in movies. It's like movies that are made by creative people who are very like all about like examining what the soul is.
Yeah, the human spirit.
Spirit and everything, and he's just kind of like, there is no soul. You just die and that's it. I found rather than being depressing or scary, I found it really refreshing to that point.
Yeah, because they talk about it as a way, as something that you need to accept, and in the accepting of it, there's a certain amount of bravery and stuff like that.
A lot of films that choose like the old atheist like guy who's like kind of like over all of the, frothy aspects of like soul searching. A lot of these movies, you've got to find a soul somehow.
Or find something to live for.
Yeah. Whereas this movie is like, he makes peace with himself in a lot of ways, using the things he learns from other people.
Yeah. A lot of conversations with other people that lead him to the next sort of level of understanding, or gets him a little bit closer to that cathartic moment at the end of the film.
Yeah.
People don't get to where you are. They never get to the moment that you're in right now, where you have the ability to witness what you're going through and clearly examine it.
Logistically and also emotionally, I think that this film helped me empathize with someone who's like 90 years old, which I don't know anything about being old because I've been young my whole life.
Yeah.
Thank God. So far, so good.
There's a moment where Harry Dean Stanton like wants to fight someone, so he walks outside, and someone comes out to try and talk him down. And the scene ends with this other person just walking away into like a red light, and then like Harry Dean Stanton follows him and looks down like a stairwell in this red light, and then just he wakes up in his bed.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what it means, what happened, what it's about.
I don't know either.
It made me just like go like, what happened when I saw it? I'm sure it means something, but I have no idea.
A lot of times I see a movie and that happens, and I'm like, ugh, you know, like I don't.
That's how I feel about it, because I'm like, if I can't figure it out within like the first couple hours, I feel like that they didn't do enough to help me understand. Right. And for such a realist movie, it's so weird that they had this sort of like not truthful moment. I don't know.
I feel like maybe they just let David Lynch direct that day. Let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah,
though.
if you guys
Seriously, I want to know what people think.
The movie was like tailor-made to Harry Dean Stanton too. Like this is a movie that was written for Harry Dean Stanton to play. It was written by I think one of his personal assistants
as sort of a celebration of his life, and there's so many things in it that are so iconic to him.
Yeah, his life. A lot of there's stories and monologues from his life that they repurpose into the movie to fit the theme and continue along with the ideas that they want to explore.
Right.
And there was a mockingbird up in a tree singing its heart out. And I aimed my gun just to scare him away, pulled the trigger, and the singing stopped. It was the saddest moment in my whole life.
It's really hard to like say anything bad about the film because it's so heartwarming and genuine and made with the best intentions.
Sure.
It felt like a movie that needed a director that had a couple more movies under his belt. Not to knock his direction. I mean, it is his first movie, and I mean, I probably, what have I made? You know what I mean? But like, there's a lot of things that felt like awkward to me. I think mostly due to the camera work of the film, because like Harry Dean Stanton's other films, like Paris, Texas, there's supposed to be a lot of subtext, I think, going on in the scenes between people, like the nuances of his emotional state. But the shots that they chose to illustrate them didn't really convey that information well enough, I didn't think. They stuck to kind of mediums. They didn't really go in for close-ups a lot of the time.
It felt a lot like a play, like a great American play.
But that's something I don't like, though. That's something like it's a movie, so I don't really want it to feel like a play.
I agree, and in a lot of cases I agree, but I feel like this movie is painted with so many masters of stage and screen acting that just like setting up that bar where you have Harry Dean Stanton and somebody like David Lynch, and Ron Livingston just acting out this scene that looks like it could have been on a stage. It's like set somewhere.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been the Horace and Pete.
It could have been like Horace and Pete. Yeah, exactly. I felt that certain moments of it, like I found I didn't need the camera to really help them. It's almost like they were doing it on their own.
And the dialogue just felt very like everybody gets a line, everybody's listening to the conversation.
That's true.
And all of those people are friends of Harry Dean Stanton. So,
Right.
I mean, it's just them in the room playing around and seeing what they can get.
I got a sense of that camaraderie throughout the film. Like I got the sense that these were people who were touched by Harry Dean Stanton's career and life, and who kind of came up with him or under him and really cared about that guy just as like a force of cinema.
There were people who were sleeping on couches from Roanoke, Virginia, so they could be on the on-set dresser because they love Harry Dean so much. It was a labor of love from beginning to end.
We've reviewed Paris, Texas
Right. One of my
earlier
favorites.
in the show.
Yeah.
And you're a big Harry Dean Stanton fan. What about him do you like so much?
His face just looks like 1,000 miles. And in like the mythos of him as a person and the things that he says in interviews and the way that he feels about life that I really connect with.
Everything just happens. Nobody's in charge. It's one big phantasmagoria. Everything is unfolding perfectly.
He's a very simple guy who's led an interesting life, and the way that he conducts himself on screen, for whatever reason, I just feel a feeling inside of me articulated. Harry Dean Stanton never fully becomes another person in a movie, which for so many people is like the goal of acting, but he's just like, he's him, and he fits into all these other movies.
He says a line, and it's just real. It's so phenomenal. And what he does in between the lines is incredible.
In the rain.
It's like he got typecast into being himself, which is great.
Which I like. I just get so sick of like hearing like, oh, it's finding truth in the character, and he's just like, I'm just me. Fuck it.
Said, but I don't want you to do anything. Just play yourself totally. And I thought, wow, that's a load off my mind. And I've been working ever since.
Would you recommend the film?
Absolutely, people? I certainly would. As a celebration of his life, as a sort of update on Paris, Texas, which I thought in a certain capacity it kind of was, and just as a great American film, I thought it was beautiful and thoughtful, well performed, and it's just great fun to see some of these guys, like David Lynch, being that weird tortoise guy in the bar is just like great fun to me.
I'd also recommend it. I mean, there's certainly, I have a lot of gripes with it. Some of the more theater-y scenes, some of the more abstract things that I didn't quite understand, a little awkward pacing, and I felt like the first sort of third was a little hit or miss. But once it gets into that second and third act, and they really ramp up how much you're thinking about the themes, it got me.
Yeah.
And the fact that, you know, it is a movie that you feel the warmth and the love and the heart that they put into it.
Yeah, for sure. Worth trying.
Worth giving a shot.
Yeah.
Check out Lucky. Check out Logan. Check out Logan Lucky. This has been In the Fold. My name's Mike.
I'm Jake.
Thank you for watching. This is Tom's Laundry. We're going to keep folding it.
Here at Tom's house.
Here at Tom's house.
Dream, 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 dream. Dream, 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 when I want you. In my arms when I want you. With all your charms, whenever I want you. All you have to do is dream. Dream, dream, dream. I want you in your eyes, and I need you to hold you tight. Whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream. We're not finished. We're going to do the bridge. I can make you mine, taste your lips sublime, anytime, neither day. Only trouble is, gee whiz, bringing my life away. I want you so that I can die. I love you so.
Hi, Mike here from Rabbit Hole TV, here with our mascot Pumpkin. Say hello, Pumpkin. Thanks for watching In the Fold. If you like what you saw, please subscribe. And if you really like what you saw, you can check out our Patreon, where we have behind the scenes photos and videos and other cool stuff if you want to get more involved with the show. Say hi, Pumpkin.